every 20 minutes. It's your statewide Alabama weathercast.
Good afternoon. I'm meteorologist Drew McCombs with the Alabama Weather Network, and this is your midday forecast update for the full state of Alabama. And take a look at some pictures from our sky watchers. Now, again, this is yesterday. This is definitely not today. We've got sunshine across most of the state today as we've had a cold front move through, but this was as the front was moving through yesterday, and we had some scattered showers and thunderstorms, so some creepy looking clouds there from Erica Thomas in Oxford with the storm that was nearby there, and also some interesting looking clouds from Wally Franklin in Verbena. So again, a storm nearby here and some nice kind of undulating clouds there. And but again, the skies today are a lot different than what we saw yesterday. You can see, just taking a look at the satellite and radar across the state this early afternoon, just bathed in sunshine across most of the state. Now, there are some scattered clouds, cumulus clouds in the southern part of the state, and there was a deck of stratus that's mostly dissipated at this point. Some of them still kind of hanging around Mobile Bay at this point, but generally lots of sunshine around, and we'll see that kind of taking a tour of the sky cams. You can see that Florence, blue skies at 71 degrees, dew point at 49, so that dry air mass is firmly entrenched in the northern part of the state for sure. It's moving its way south slowly over the course of the day. The other thing will be, it's going to be pretty breezy across a good portion of the state. You can see gusts of 22 miles per hour, winds out of the northeast at 9 miles per hour, so that dry air continuing to move down from north to south. Hatton looks like we're zooming in right as we're recording this here, so but it's a nice day there. It's 74 degrees and 51 degrees there, so I guess we'll sorry about the zoom in there, but we'll move on to the next one. Alabaster is looking very nice out there, and you can see let's look at the trees moving a little bit there. So again, you can see that there's a little bit of a breeze for sure with the tree leaves moving. It's beautiful though, 78 degrees over 55 degrees for the dew point, blue skies. Moving further to the south, a few more clouds around, but just very small, kind of puffy little fair weather cumulus clouds. We're almost to 80 degrees in Montgomery. Dew point is in the 60s, so again, we're not quite as dry the further south you get, but it is continuing to filter down, and we expect to continue to lower the humidity pretty far south as we move through the day. As we move to Spanish Fort around Mobile Bay, like we mentioned, we've got a few more low clouds still hanging around, especially over the bay itself. Expect those to continue to kind of mix out though over the next couple hours, but a few more clouds in this part of the state, but still some blue skies, still a nice day, 75 degrees, and still quite a bit of a breeze, which is also helping to kick up the waves a good bit out there in the Gulf, which we'll talk about in a bit. But what we're watching for today and this week, so lower humidity, especially in the north and central part of the state, started that way, moving further to the south. Now, there is a spot shower possible in the southern part of the state, but it's going to be very conditional. There might be one or two because you're closer to the front that's stalled out in the Gulf the farther south you get, but again, very kind of remote possibility for today, I would say at this point. But then we do kind of expect overall that the state should stay dry over this week, and that will be gradually warming over the next few days. We'll be starting off pretty cool tomorrow morning as well, pretty much statewide, but we will be kind of gradually warming through this coming week. As far as our temperatures right now, we've gotten up into the mid to upper 70s in most spots in the Tennessee Valley and the northeastern part of the state. It's 77 in Gadsden, 76 in Huntsville. Coleman and Hamilton's still only at 73, but you can see Tuscaloosa's already at 80 degrees, and places like Andalusia are already at 86 degrees. So we definitely think that there are spots in the southern part of the state that will likely hit 90 or maybe a little bit higher than that. And then looking at the dew point map, again, compared to what we looked at a few hours ago, you can see the yellow there, those lower dew points indicated by the palette where we're getting dew points down into the 40s and 50s is slowly moving further to the south. So now the dew point's at 48 in Birmingham, still though 68 in Selma, 65 in Montgomery. So we're kind of slowly pulling that a little bit drier air further to the south, and we expect that to continue more over the course of the rest of the day and also this evening. Forecast highs, some places in the northern part of the state may not get out of the upper 70s, but mainly kind of 80s across most of the rest of the state, as we expect to get around 84 in Selma, 85 in Thomasville. But again, we expect we could get in the low 90s in the kind of far southeast corner and down towards the coast in Mobile and Baldwin counties. Lows tonight, expect to be a little bit cooler than we were this morning. We had some 50s in the Tennessee Valley this morning, but we expect it to be even a little bit lower this coming morning, 53 possible in Florence, 54 in Coleman. And as you move further to the south, more likely going to be upper 50s, low 60s, and then towards the coast, still could get into the upper 60s. So still fairly dry out there, and it's going to be a pretty nice, comfortable night, it looks like, for sure. As we look at our future cast starting off right now, again, got a few lingering clouds, but again, this model showing a few spotty showers possible in places like Geneva County potentially, and maybe Coffee and Dale counties. But if anything, it would be very brief and light, and certainly possible we don't get anything out of this as that dry air continues to filter in. As we move into the rest of the night and into tomorrow morning, maybe a few more clouds kind of trying to build back in from the east, but calm otherwise. No rain expected in the early morning. As we get into tomorrow afternoon, a smattering of an isolated shower or two is possible. And again, kind of the southern quarter of the state, but we don't expect anything significant with this. But you could get a little downpour in a isolated spot or two. Looks like better chances for that on Tuesday afternoon would be more over in Mississippi, and we wouldn't be expecting to see it as much. We'll be getting this kind of easterly flow established again, which we've seen a number of times here in the last month or so. Another story for today, again, is the wind speed. So, it's going to be just kind of breezy out there, but you could see wind gusts up into the 20-mile-per-hour range, though. So as we kind of go through our forecast model wind gusts, you can see definitely a number of places could get up to around 20 miles an hour. And even as we get later tonight, could get even a little bit higher than that in some spots like Thomasville and over towards Auburn and Eufaula, as this, again, the dry air continues to filter in behind the front, and then we start to get a little bit more of an easterly component. So again, it'll just be kind of breezy today, which again will be pretty refreshing. And then looking at those forecast dew points, we do expect those will continue to push south into this evening. But then as we get that easterly sort of boundary coming in and a little trough, we do see that dry air pretty quickly gets sort of erased, especially in the southern part of the state. And we start to see a little bit of moisture returning as we get into Tuesday afternoon. Northeast corner still pretty dry. It's still, not extremely humid or anything, but just not quite as dry there. So just a fairly brief period where we'll have some pretty dry air over the course of the entire state. All right, here's our upper level, or at least our mid-level setup here. And so we've got a trough in place now. It's going to continue to kind of pull towards the north, but right now it's nice. For the next couple of days, we expect it to be nice, cool mornings. And then as we move further into the week, it will be seeing a little bit of a warming trend. Nothing extreme. We'll be getting closer back to kind of normal temperatures for this time of year. You'll see a little bit of a ridge trying to build into the west, but still kind of an influence of that trough on especially the eastern side of the state. So again, we'll warm up a little bit, but staying dry is certainly what we continue to expect to see. And we can see that in our 7-day forecast, looking at the north part of the state, up getting into the upper 70s to around 80 degrees. Lows tonight down into the 50s. I think low 50s very possible in some of the cooler spots. And then as we go through the next couple of days, kind of a slow warming trend. But again, the night times are comfortable and just really no chance of rain to speak of this week as we look at North Alabama. Now, at South Alabama, again, very small chance of a spotty shower today, expecting to get in the low 90s, upper 80s. And then again, we actually dial the heat down just a little bit as the rest of that cool air gets in place the next day or two, Monday or Tuesday, then kind of going back up and moderating a little bit. And again, the lows in the morning should be relatively comfortable for this time of year. And again, just very small rain chances. Most places will be staying dry during this time period. Well, that is your Alabama statewide forecast update for now. We'll have another one coming up later on this afternoon and evening, and we hope you keep watching us on the Alabama Weather Network.